What if I told you that the most dangerous, massive, and terrifying predator to ever walk the earth isn't the one you're thinking of? You probably have a picture in your head right now of a Tyrannosaurus Rex or a great white shark. You might even be thinking of a prehistoric monster that could swallow a car whole. But you would be wrong. Every movie you've watched and every book you've read has likely pointed you toward the wrong animal. We are about to go on a hunt for the ultimate king of the killers. We are looking for the largest carnivoran in history. This isn't just a fancy word for meat eater. It is a specific group of elite hunters like lions, wolves, and bears. Most people think these giants are all dead and gone. They think we missed the era of true monsters. But the truth is much more shocking than that. If you stay until the very end of this video, I'm going to reveal why the biggest killer on this list is actually still alive today. I'll show you why it makes a polar bear look like a kitten. I will also give you a secret way to see this beast for yourself without getting eaten. Before we name the champion, we have to fix a huge mistake. A lot of people get confused when they hear the word carnivore. They start talking about dinosaurs or giant whales. That's like comparing apples to oranges. Dinosaurs are reptiles, and whales are a totally different branch of the family tree. When we talk about the order Carnivora, we are talking about the most successful group of mammalian hunters to ever exist. This is the family of the specialists. They have teeth designed for one thing: ending lives. We are looking for the absolute heavyweight champion of this specific, lethal family. Let's look at the first challenger that almost claimed the throne. To find the biggest predator to ever walk the land, we have to travel back in time nearly 2 million years. Imagine stepping out of a time machine and looking up, and I mean way up. You are staring at the South American giant short-faced bear. Its scientific name is Arctotherium angustidens, and it was a total nightmare. Most people think the modern polar bear is the king of the land, but this ancient beast was nearly twice as heavy. It weighed up to 4,000 pounds. To put that in perspective, that is the same as a full-size SUV. If this bear stood up on its hind legs, it would be 11 feet tall. It could look you in the eye while you were standing on the second-floor balcony of a house. This bear didn't just look scary, it was built like a tank. It had a short, wide snout that gave it a massive bite force. Scientists believe it could crush the thickest bones of prehistoric horses or giant ground sloths with a single chomp. Because it was so big, it didn't even have to hunt all the time. It was a professional bully. It could simply walk up to a group of smaller predators, like saber-toothed cats, and steal their kill just by standing there. No other animal on the continent was brave enough to pick a fight with a creature the size of a truck. This was the absolute peak of power for any meat-eating mammal on dry land. You might be wondering why we don't have bears this big today. There is a simple reason: the land has a size limit. When you live on land, gravity is your biggest enemy. Every pound you gain makes it harder to run, harder to turn, and harder on your joints. A 4,000-pound bear needs a massive amount of food every single day just to keep its heart beating. When the environment changed and the biggest prey animals died out, these giant bears simply couldn't get enough calories to survive. They were too big for their own good. Even though this bear was the largest land-living member of the Carnivora family to ever exist, it still isn't the winner of our search. Many people stop their research here because they assume nothing could possibly be bigger than a 2-ton bear. But that is the biggest mistake you can make. There is a world where gravity doesn't matter as much, and where animals can grow to sizes that seem impossible. To find the true record breaker, a beast that is double the size of this giant bear, we have to leave the solid ground behind. We have to look into the freezing, deep waters of the Southern Ocean to find a predator that is still alive right now. How do you find a hunter that is twice as large as the biggest bear to ever live? You have to stop looking at the ground and start looking at the water. To find the true record breaker, we must head to the freezing shores of the Southern Ocean. This is where the southern elephant seal lives. At first glance, you might think it just looks like a giant, lazy pile of fat. But that is the biggest mistake you could ever make. This animal is not a cute sea creature. It is a 4-ton biological tank. It is a member of the order Carnivora, just like a tiger or a wolf. However, this seal weighs up to 8,800 pounds. That is more than double the weight of the giant short-faced bear we just talked about. It is longer than a large pickup truck and heavier than 2 SUVs put together. The reason this animal is the undisputed champion is because of its home. In the water, gravity doesn't crush you. The ocean supports the seal's massive body, allowing it to grow to sizes that would be impossible on land. But don't let the fat fool you. That fat is actually a layer of blubber that acts like armor and fuel. When these giants reach the shore, they turn into some of the most violent fighters on the planet. During the mating season, the beach becomes a literal war zone. Huge males, known as bulls, crash into each other with enough force to break bones. They don't just push, they use their massive, sharp teeth to rip into each other's necks. It is a bloody, brutal display of power that makes a lion fight look like a playground game. When you look at a southern elephant seal, you aren't looking at a blob. You are looking at a sea monster that is perfectly designed for murder. They have faces that look like they belong in a nightmare and eyes that are specialized to see in the pitch-black darkness of the deep sea. They don't just eat tiny fish. They hunt giant squid and even small sharks. They can dive over a mile deep into the ocean. That is deeper than almost any other air-breathing animal can go. They are the ultimate heavyweight champions of the world. They aren't just the biggest hunters alive today. They are the biggest carnivoran predators to ever exist in the entire history of the Earth. We are lucky they spend most of their time in the water, because if these monsters lived in our backyards, nothing would be safe. To really understand how terrifying the southern elephant seal is, we have to look at the numbers. These stats are not just big. They are almost impossible to imagine until you see them side by side with other famous killers. Let's start with the great white shark. Most people think a great white is the ultimate ocean monster. A very large shark weighs about 5,000 pounds. That is a lot. But a male elephant seal can weigh up to 8,800 pounds. That means the seal is nearly twice as heavy as the shark. If they ever met in a fight, the seal would be the heavyweight and the shark would be the lightweight. The comparison to land animals is even more shocking. The polar bear is the king of the Arctic. It is the biggest land hunter alive today, but it looks like a toy next to our champion. A large male polar bear weighs around 1,500 pounds. To match the weight of just one southern elephant seal, you would have to stack 6 polar bears on top of each other. Think about that for a second. One seal is as heavy as an entire pack of the world's largest bears. This is why it is the undisputed king of the carnivora family. The stats get even crazier when you look at how they survive in places where other animals would die. Most land animals would be crushed if they tried to go where this seal goes. They can dive down 7,000 feet into the ocean. At that depth, the water pressure is intense. It would feel like having several elephants standing on every square inch of your body. But the elephant seal's body is built like a high-tech submarine. They have more blood in their bodies than almost any other mammal. This allows them to carry extra oxygen to their muscles. This lets them stay under the freezing water for over 2 hours without taking a single breath. While we are gasping for air after 1 minute, they are down in the dark hunting for their next meal. Then, there is the weapon system. Their skulls are thick and heavy. This helps them handle the massive muscles needed to crush prey. They have long, sharp teeth that can grow up to 6 inches long. That is roughly the same size as a steak knife. But they don't just use their teeth to bite. They use their whole body as a weapon. When two males fight for territory, they throw their entire 8,000-pound bodies forward. They use their weight like a giant sledgehammer. It is a level of pure, raw power that no other predator can match. They are the ultimate survival machines. They are built to conquer the deepest, coldest, and most violent parts of our planet. We have spent this whole journey looking for the ultimate king of the killers. We looked at the myths of the T-Rex and the scary fossils of the giant bears from the Ice Age. But in the end, the winner was not a ghost from the past. The biggest carnivoran predator to ever exist is a living, breathing giant that is swimming in the ocean right now. The southern elephant seal proves that nature is still capable of creating monsters. It reminds us that our world is still a place of wonder and danger. We often think that humans have explored everything. We think all the cool giants are dead. But there are still 8,000-pound titans in the deep ocean that are bigger than anything in the history books. This seal is the perfect example of how life survives in the toughest places on Earth. It is a 4-ton master of the sea that has survived for millions of years. It outlasted the giant bears and the saber-toothed cats. It is a true survivor. By understanding this animal, we realize that the order Carnivora is more than just lions and wolves. It is a family of champions that has conquered the land, the ice, and the deepest parts of the sea. The southern elephant seal is the crown jewel of that family. It is the heaviest, strongest, and most successful meat eater to ever belong to this group. You do not need a time machine to see the most massive hunter in history. While many people believe the era of monsters is over, the king of the killers is still here. But finding one is not easy. Most people will only ever see these giants in a book or on a living room TV. If you are brave enough to travel to the edge of the world, there is a way to stand in their presence. There are secret locations where these 4-ton beasts leave the water and claim the land as their own. In remote places like the coast of Argentina or the frozen islands of the Southern Ocean, the world's biggest predators return home once a year. If you visit these beaches in October, you will witness the most incredible sight in the natural world. This is the peak of the breeding season. It is the only time the massive bull seals stay on land for weeks at a time. This is your chance to see their true size. When you stand on the sand near a southern elephant seal, you realize that every other predator we know is a lightweight. On these beaches, you can watch as 8,000-pound warriors fight for their territory. The ground actually shakes when they move. But you must be careful. These animals may look like slow, sleepy blobs of fat, but they are incredibly powerful. On land, they can lung forward faster than a human can run. They are protective, they are loud, and they are masters of their domain. To stand just a few yards away from one is a life-changing experience. It is a reminder that we are still living in the age of giants. You don't need a movie or a museum to see a monster. You just need to know where to look.